Rand is slightly down against the major currencies, but only by a few cents. We'll see what happens after 9 o'clock this morning. Let's look back at what it was like on day one of class for those returning for inland provinces and their schools. We're now into day two. Has it gotten any better? Well, hundreds of children in Gauteng simply don't have a school to go to. Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi apologising for the placement delays. But is that good enough? Yesterday we saw scenes of frustrated and angry parents at schools and district offices. Well, what do we look like on day two of the schooling year? Masego Rahlaga at the Morningside District Office in Johannesburg. Morning to you, Masego. I'm seeing gates open, children running around, or people running around behind you. Still some very angry parents, though. Their children don't yet have a chance to start their schooling career.
Good morning, Gareth. The parents that we're finding here today seem to be a lot more calm than those who were speaking to my colleague Mangoba Mkhunu yesterday. You might remember that yesterday the Department of Education here in Gauteng said about 700 children still needed to be placed in schools. Those are the children whose parents did register for grade 1 and 8 for 2022 academic year. But of course, some parents who did register either didn't have all documentation and therefore were kicked out of the system, and they were given many dates for extension. Obviously something went wrong in terms of their reapplications, and those are the parents that you find here today. Some of them are, for instance, situations where you'd find some parents decided at the last minute that they are moving, or maybe they found employment in December and they had to move to Johannesburg or this area in January, and those are the late applications that the department reopened yesterday. And we'll find out, of course, a little later on from Steve Mabona how many children still need to be placed from those who did actually apply on time, those 700. But let's approach some of the parents who are outside. We've been told that, so far there's no communication between the department and the district in terms of us being allowed inside. So we'll try and approach those who are outside just to find out from them or get a sense of what's going on. Hey, ma'am, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm good also. Just a quick question. Is this your little boy? Are you trying to find space for him at a school?
We're trying to find school since 2 days ago. I've been coming here to no avail. We're trying, but they don't attend to us.
So what's the issue? Did you apply for him? What grade is he going to?
We did apply grade 1. And the school did not send any message to us. And we came here, we went back to school, the school sent us back here. When we came here, they sent us back to the school. They are just pushing us here and there. I don't really know what. That's why I came early today to queue, so that I can tell them, do you want me to keep the child at home, or what do you want me to do?
And I can imagine how frustrating this is. I mean, you're also supposed to be at work.
Yes, but I couldn't. 2 days now, this is the second day I've been coming here. I couldn't be away because there's no way I can keep him. He have to go to school, I have to go to work, but everything has to stand still because we're looking for school. I don't think this system is working for us in South Africa. I don't think so.
What did they say the problem is? Why are they not giving your child space?
The school was telling us that they don't have capacity to admit any child. We have to go back to education. Education is telling us the schools are full, they need to get a space for us. They said they're going to call us. They didn't call us. We have to come here because there's nowhere to keep the child. We have to go to work. Child have to go to school. But everything is on standstill now.
All right, let me let you quickly go before you lose your space, because as you heard Gareth, she said she's been here since quite very early in the morning trying to sort it out after being here for about 2 days or so. Let's see if I can speak to this gentleman over here. Baba, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you, sir. Can you tell me what situation you find yourself in? Is it late application, or is it the back and forth after applying?
It's a late application. Yeah, definitely late application.
What happened? Why are you applying late, and which grade are you applying for?
For my son, at grade 10. Yeah, she's been in the rural area, so he came this side, over the side. So I'm trying to get a space for him. So it's for late application. Yeah.
Which school would you like your son to go to?
St. Rem High School, or at least Wendywood High School. So it's nearby. I'm always staying in Lombardy. I'm nearby.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, and good luck with finding space. So you see different situations and scenarios. Gareth, that parent, for instance, says her child, grade 1, she did apply, but they've been sent from pillar to post between the actual school she wanted him to go to and the education department or district. And with this gentleman that I spoke to over here, for instance, he says his son was living in the rural areas and he decided that his son should come to the urban areas, and his is a late application. And as you heard there, it's grade 10. So definitely that is different from the online applications, which are for grade 1 and grade 8.
Yeah, and I suppose this is going to be the problem which we need to unpack. I'm sure when we hear from Steve Mabona a little bit later, Masego, I'll just leave it as a last question to you. It's not just the education department. Yes, there are problems. There are system problems. There are admin problems, but also people moving into the province. They're moving for work. They're moving for jobs, trying to desperately get into schools. So it's not just the education department. It's not just the parents' fault either, is it? I suppose we need to try and understand that it can be a bit of both, isn't it?
That's true, Gareth, and I don't know if my colleague Samsang Kamane can show you. I mean, Gauteng, for instance, is that province that is just like the city of Cape Town, really, or the Western Cape. We are a province where we are the economic hub of the country, and so a lot of people come here for employment reasons. And of course, you find the leafy suburbs of Johannesburg and other areas like Pretoria, etc. And that is where parents imagine to live or have their children go, right? And that is the issue that Panyaza Lesufi was actually saying yesterday after, handing over a brand new school in Sebokeng, a very dusty township in the Citibank district. And he was saying that parents like to apply for their children in former Model C schools because that's what they imagine a good education would come from. But he's saying watch the space. Next week, when the matric results are announced, you'd find that it's mostly the schools in the townships that produce that 100% pass. So, it's also those issues where, choice is obviously a right in South Africa, and some parents want to go to take their kids to those specific schools. But also, Gareth, it's an issue of the schools themselves. There's some parents who feel that a school, they would have applied 2 kilometers away from where they live, right? And then that school would not accept their child, but rather the district would send their child 12 kilometers away from where they live. So it's also a situation of, are the schools also playing their part in what the department is trying to achieve with integration and, all races going to different schools? So it's a lot of issues that are at play. And, for some parents, the system simply doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You can imagine as well parents who've bought a house in a certain area so their children can go to the school maybe down the road from them, then being told, no, you actually can't. You need to go to another area. You can imagine the frustration. But Masego, thank you for the moment. Back to Masego Rahlaga a little bit later.